Fly high, blue eagle, fly and carry our cry across the sky. Cast your shadow below, swoop down on the foe, then sweep up the field away. Fly high over the trees, make known to the breeze of victories. Spread wide each wing, for you are the king, blue eagle, the king. Oh, the eagle's the king of them all. He's blue feathers and never will fall. For the blue and the white and the eagle in flight, Ateneo will fight today. Your shadow below, swoop down on the foe, then sweep up the field away. Fly high over the trees, make known to the breeze our victories. Spread wide each wing, for you are the king, blue eagle, the king. Blue eagle, the king. Blue eagle, the king.
Coming up next, Wellness Wednesdays on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Force of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulog, lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan.
We all want to live healthier in mind, body, and spirit. But where do we start? Sometimes, all it takes is a good conversation. Tune in to Wellness Wednesdays on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Together with experts, inspiring guests, and real stories, We explore tips you can actually use, from managing stress to eating better to finding balance in a busy world. Because here, we believe wellness isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So join us, and let's make every Wednesday a step toward your healthiest self. Wellness Wednesdays, wellness that speaks to you, from the body, mind to might. Every Wednesday on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Hello, Wellness Seekers. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesdays, your midweek dose of balance and positivity.
Here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM, we bring you wellness that speaks to you, from the body, mind to might. Every week, we explore tips, conversations, and stories that help keep your mind, body, and spirit in harmony. Welcome to the OGC's Coffee Sessions with Your Counselors, where the warmth of the good brew meets the guidance you need.
We're here to chat, share, and support you through your college journey, one cup of coffee at a time.
So grab your coffee, find a comfy seat, and let's dive into today's coffee session.
Hello, I'm Miss Faith.
I'm Sir Matt, and we are counselors at the OGC.
We have another guest for today's episode, and actually, we're so lucky to have him here with us because he's just here in the Philippines for a week. After this, he'll fly back to Guam.
That's right, we're lucky to have our guest with us in the flesh to talk about our topic today. But before that, I have a question for you, Miss Faith. Do you consider yourself chronically online?
Well, not necessarily chronically online, but of course, we're busy throughout the day, right? And in between, sometimes I check social media, I check Facebook, maybe out of habit. And then I also mostly check Instagram because that's where I think I like the content better there. But yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Spirit in harmony. Welcome to the OGC's Coffee Sessions with Your Counselors, where the warmth of the good brew meets the guidance you need.
We're here to chat, share, and support you through your college journey, one cup of
good brew meets the
We're here to chat through your college.
find the comfy Hello, wellness seekers. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesdays, your midweek dose of balance and positivity. Here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM, we bring you wellness that speaks to you from the body, mind to mind. Every week, we explore tips, conversations, and stories that help keep your mind, body, and spirit in harmony. Welcome to the OGC's Coffee Sessions with your counselors, where the warmth of the good brew meets the guidance you need.
We're here to chat, share, and support you through your college journey, one cup of coffee at a time.
So grab your coffee, find the comfy seat, and let's dive into today's coffee session.
Hello, I'm Miss Faith.
I'm Sir Matt, and we are counselors at the OGC.
We have another guest for today's episode, and actually, we're so lucky to have him here with us because he's just here in the Philippines for a week. After this, he'll fly back to Guam.
That's right, we're lucky to have our guest with us in the flesh to talk about our topic today. But before that, I have a question for you, Miss Faith. Do you consider yourself chronically online?
Well, not necessarily chronically online, but of course, we're busy throughout the day, right? And in between, sometimes I check social media, I check Facebook, maybe out of habit. And then I also mostly check Instagram because that's where I think I like the content better there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah.
How do you use social media?
Same with you, Miss Faith. So ako naman, I use it to distress myself. So right now, parang I'm into reels of Lego. So I find it very cute na may mga buting-ting in Lego. And also yung mga cooking videos. So I don't cook, but I find it satisfying yung pagluluto.
Right. So, of course, we want to hear more about living our lives online from our guest today. And we also want to find out what he does on social media. So, without any further ado, let me introduce our guest for today's Coffee Session episode. He's an assistant professor from the University of Guam, an alumnus of the Ateneo Psychology Department with 837 karma points on Reddit, and also chronically online. So everyone, let us all welcome Sir Arvin Boller. Thank you so much for making time for this. We're excited to chat with you about this very interesting and relevant topic.
Hello, thank you, Miss Faye. Thank you, Sir Matt. So, ako naman, everything is online for me, especially in my line of work as a professor. We communicate with students, whether by email or by WhatsApp. I mean, they're not my friends in Facebook and whatnot. But still, you have to be online during classes. I'm even online because we'll need to search stuff with my question and whatnot. So I pretty much, not really 24/7, but I'm online if I'm not sleeping. That's pretty much how it works. That's why my students sometimes, they get surprised when I reply right away. And it's like, you caught me looking at that screen specifically when you messaged. That's why I was able to reply. So yeah, I concede. I am chronically online. So, here we are.
Okay, and that makes you eligible to be our expert guest.
It's the 837 card.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's so great to have you here, Sir Arvin. So we'll jump right to our first question. Okay, so we're all living our lives online now, scrolling, posting, reacting. For many students, social media isn't just a platform anymore. It's part of their daily experience. Like in our sessions, we would hear our students actually bringing up issues that the setting is online, like in their group chats or on Facebook. So it's part of their daily experience, and some of their biggest stories unfold there. What do you make of that?
Well, it's interesting because yun yung concept natin of digital citizens. So a lot of our younger students, our younger generation, they never lived without digital devices or content. So some of my students are like 2005, 2006. So at that time, we have cell phones already.
Yeah.
Nagsa-start na si iPhone. We had iPods at that time. That was high school. So may iPod na, MP3 players, MP4 players. So when they got when they become conscious about the world, they are in a digital setting already. At least for most of the younger generation. Of course, internet penetration is not really 100% yet. So we still have people who haven't experienced that. But for the most part, they are living lives within the digital space from the get-go.
Right.
In contrast to us, we're in na-experience natin VHS, DVD, Blu-ray not so much, but streaming. And then you have yung cassette. Na-experience ko yung cassette, diba? How to rewind.
Yeah, with pencil.
Cassette, CD, we went to iPods, download sa LimeWire,
Torrent.
torrent,
Audio Galaxy.
susuya pa burn, di ba? Parang ito yung mga songs that we want. And then now we have Spotify and all. In their case, they never had that analog experience or not much. Kind of interesting also, just to bring it up, na some of them are going back to analog.
Oh, yeah.
Like, di ba, parang there's a rise of LP, EP, di ba, vinyl stuff. So yun, very interesting yung how do they see the world from a digital lens.
Yeah.
And now, on a non-digital lens, especially for those who are actively seeking that kind of experience.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe then parang as an observation to the generations now, feeling ko one of their needs, quote unquote, is yung relatability. So, I observe it talaga sa comments natin there na people comment kasi they relate to the story. However, people comment then sometimes just to give, sadly, mga negative remarks. So, it's so saddening na ang daming pwede makita online.
Right.
So, mentioning college students, especially nowadays, why does social media feel like such an essential space for free expression? Are there downsides to it?
Social media, it's interesting in that one of the biggest, it's both a pro and a con, is that you can be anonymous in it. Okay, that's one of the biggest thing about it. Of course, in social media, if you're just conversing with friends, hindi naman anonymous. People know who you are. You can present yourself and whatnot. So in terms of freedom of expression or free expression, by having that layer of anonymity, you can be a bit more candid about what you're saying. So for example, within the context of Ateneo, just look at Freedom Wall. I'm a permanent lurker of Freedom Wall.
There's a lot to read about sa Freedom Wall natin.
Di ba, parang those are stuff, yung mga posts doon, those are stuff that you won't be able to post with your name stamped in it, right? Kung nagreklamo ka man in whatever, or when you are, you want to express feelings for someone, you don't want them to know who you are. It's such a vital function, kumbaga, na you won't be able to do in a public sphere, in a typical public sphere. So, in a grander scheme of things, social media has been a catalyst for social movements. Kasi, for example, when I was studying social media as early as 2013, when I was doing my master's, yun yung time ng Arab Spring. Okay, we're going to go to political stuff. The revolutions wouldn't have happened without social media, because if you have an autocratic government, diba, parang it's hard to speak out. But by having that layer of anonymity, you can connect to others without being discovered or whatever. No, of course, in a more micro level, you can talk to friends, you can talk to others without anyone else knowing, hopefully. Of course, may mga snitches pa rin and every now and then. So I think in terms of freedom of expression, it is an essential platform and something that would be hard to without nowadays. Whether or not we like it, it's here to stay. But at the same time, it's also a con, anonymity. For one, we have this effect in psychology. We call it online disinhibition. Now, online disinhibition is this phenomenon wherein, due to the anonymity in online setting, people tend to have less of a filter. It's not even a filter, but sometimes they become even more aggressive than they would be in a typical setting. So, for example, when we first encountered cyberbullying, now this was a big topic in the early 2000s until now. But back then, this is such a novel phenomena. People studied cyberbullies, like, sino ba? Who are the cyberbullies? And then the basic question was that, are they bullies in real life? And what they found out is they're not. Okay, cyberbullies are not bullies in real life. So the fact na meron kang layer of anonymity and all of these things that facilitate free expression also becomes a double-edged sword. Na now people sense, I'm free to say whatever I want. I can also say vitriolic stuff. Things that you cannot also say personally. So that's a major con, and I think that's something that I think compared to early 2000s, like early social media, we have become better at it. But there are still instances where it becomes too much.
And these are the realities that surround social media and online right now. Yung mga ways how people use it. So with the things that you mentioned, how do these shape the overall culture of social media?
Nowadays, in terms of culture, nagkaroon tayo ng to some degree, it's also generational, no? But there are unwritten rules, for example, in social media, and like etiquette, even language in itself. Like when you compare how older generations speak in social media versus the younger ones, it can be as basic as the use of emojis. Like just look at older generation. There was an article that came out recently na younger generations like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they consider the thumbs up as a passive aggressive emoji. It's like when someone sends you a thumbs up, it's like, is this person mad at me?
Dismissive.
Or mixed, or more like okay. Parang ganun na parang so it can be as basic as language. It can be, and of course, it's also cultural in the sense that it depends on what context you are in. So, for example, if you're in Viber, which is dominated by mostly baby boomers, so may mga tita, iba yung culture of how you present or interact yourself. I mean, emails. For example, email is still social in nature. The way you type an email will never happen in real life. Like overly formal. Diba? So, I think, I mean, how about you guys? Kasi inisip ko, I'm coming from a younger perspective, But when you were first dealing with online stuff, especially in your case, most likely was may morality when you first started using social media. But how did you use it during that time?
I think, I feeling ko naman I'm still also a millennial. Pero siguro in relation to dun sa mga ka-age ko, I think I agree na it depends on how we interpret yung emojis And ito very recent lang, parang sa group chat namin kaming circle of friends, we are talking about yung mga abbreviations.
Okay.
And some of us, may mga new abbreviation na come out. So nag-usap kami, uy, anong ibig sabihin nito? So interestingly, yung mga abbreviations na yun, we talk about it and how it is presented. For example, in this setting, kung paano siya naiintindihan. So personally, I also find it useful na aside from the emojis nga, parang in a way helpful din yung mga abbreviations. Pero if other people would look at it, maaring iba yung interpretation. So for me, personally, as an online user, I also interpret language with caution pa din. And as well as the emojis din.
Right. I feel like I'm part of like the elder millennial. Like what you said earlier, parang I witnessed the transition from the more analog to the more digital. From MIRC to Yahoo Messenger to Facebook Messenger. Yeah.
Or Skype. Skype, yeah. Nabunin ko pa siya.
Before, there's a lot more freedom. So we can invent whatever identity we want to have online. Of course, it's still the same now. But I noticed that there's also that evolution in terms of like people policing each other on social media. Yun nga, netiquette. Yeah. Which is a good thing, I guess. Yeah.
Actually, napansin ko rin, no? Older generations, particularly like the middle age or older, the baby boomers and probably Gen X, when they use social media, they're a bit more unfiltered in a sense. I mean, when you talk about policing each other, like you would see your titas and titos, you'll post something and then they'll comment, oh, kamusta na kayo? How's your mom and dad? Which is totally irrelevant to the post itself. So they use it in a more, I guess it's partly because they're not as well versed in the etiquette, so they use it in any way they think of.
Yeah.
And this is also such a minor thing, but one of the things that we studied before is yung boomer ellipsis. Are you familiar with the boomer ellipsis?
Interesting.
If you look at how boomers speak, they use the ellipsis so much. And
Okay. Yeah.
they use that a lot.
Makes sense.
And that's a remnant of how they wrote letters before. So may mga pen pal sila na that's such a thing before. They use that a lot. Because parang when you're transitioning to the next thought, they use the ellipsis. And that transferred to, social media. So although it's such a minor thing, but it's reflective of how different cultures are permeating the social media sphere. And siguro, an important thing here is when we are in an argument with someone, or if we perceive that an online action is offensive, we have to go back and like, saan ba nanggagaling yung person na to? Ano yung, how do they communicate? And what are the norms na kinalakihan nila that they might be transferring to social media that they might not be familiar with, na ganito na pala yung usapan ngayon. Just to add another one, kasi I'm talking to my Gen Alpha students now. We were joking that I still speak in GIFs. When we talk in WhatsApp, I usually reply in GIF. And then they were like, we don't speak in GIFs anymore. They use stickers.
Oh, yeah.
So stickers na sila, so non-moving stuff. And it was like, we were so happy when we can finally use GIF because we grew up not having fast internet na GIFs was such a a luxury before. So, well, ayun lang. So the way communication works is such an interesting thing. It bleeds into social media netiquette. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Siguro, I just wanna mention what I also noticed, like in closed Facebook groups, for example, I think the new addition, like a new feature that's added is the ability to post anonymously and comment anonymously.
Yes.
But what I noticed is, of course, evolved din yung mga mga Facebook groups, they have moderators na and then they look at like they screen the posts, diba, before it gets posted. And they specifically request if you're posting anonymously, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to justify.
Dapat may intentionality pa din.
Yeah, so there are certain posts that everyone would understand why it needs to be posted anonymous.
Actually, may mga groups rin ako na-encounter that members are requesting na let's turn off that feature. Kasi, for example, I'm a member of this group called How's Your Biyahe Best. It's a mobility advocacy group. So it can get heated, you know?
Yeah.
Pero, you know, meron mga comments every now and then that it's really just vitriol. So it's vitriolic na. And people can do it because you can post anonymously. So members are asking, can we just turn off anonymous posting in this thing?
Yeah. So that brings us to accountability. Of course, no, without the being identified, there's less accountability.
Yeah.
Right. So why do you think online spaces now so easily turn into zones of public judgment or call out?
Going back, no, na parang because we have anonymous, can be anonymous in it. They can say whatever. Ito yung, this is a term that an essayist philosopher Nassim Taleb coined. Na he calls it skin in the game. Okay, skin in the game means that if you're gonna do something, you shouldn't put the risk on someone else. So parang, in this case, when you call out someone publicly and you are anonymous, you don't have a skin in the game in it. Na parang, I can draft an open letter pero wala yung pangalan ko. You don't have a skin in the game in it. So parang, it becomes easy to do that because I feel like we don't have that culture yet in the social media of demanding accountability even when you are posting. Okay? Kasi yun din yun eh. Parang if you call out someone and it causes reputational harm and then it proved to be false or whatever, how do you demand accountability from someone who is anonymous? So parang in my opinion, these kinds of call-outs should be preceded by skin in the game. Okay? Meaning, if I'm gonna post something controversial, whatever, it should have my name stamped in it. If you see something that is anonymous calling out someone and walang name to back it up, it's a red flag for me. Of course, there are certain instances like sinabi niyo na nga na may mga posts naman talaga that is understandably anonymous. Like if there is a real threat of reprisal or revenge, let's say someone calling out autocratic government na alam mo there's a threat to your life, then understandable. But if you're just calling out someone for being rude and you cannot even stamp your name in it, it's like, where is that? Like, what's the word that I want? Parang, where's the commitment? Diba? So right now, I feel like it's so easy to do this because we don't have that norm yet. So I think the next steps will be, how do we make it more normalized that we will only take something seriously if you are stamping your name in it. Diba? So I think that's something that we have to teach our students as well, that if you're gonna say something online, commit to it.
I like that.
Commit to it.
And when a person is being called out, may mga comments na yun. Filipino, may mga sul-sul comments na. And that post becomes viral.
Yeah.
And once that post becomes viral, the person is now being cancelled.
Yeah.
Hence my next question. So from a social psych perspective, what's happening when people collectively call out or quote-unquote cancel someone?
So this is such a big thing nowadays, no? Kasi parang to some degree, I would argue that cancel is essentially a boycott of something. No. And boycotts are fine. You know, parang if there is, let's say, if a company does something that you don't agree with, then you call out, oh, let's boycott this.
Yeah.
Fine.
May movement.
Yeah, it's well, a cancel culture is essentially a movement na parang essentially you're creating a new group. Diba? Parang in social psych, suddenly then papasok na yung belongingness, yung group membership. It suddenly becomes an in-group and then you have an out-group. And then now, because of that dynamics, you will have discrimination, you will have favoritism and whatnot. It becomes a problem when that group engages in groupthink, essentially. They cancel someone, but they also become such a tight group, such a single-minded being that they become myopic in the way they deal with things. So, for example, if that certain someone that they're canceling apologizes publicly or does or engages in remuneration, and does their best, and the group still continues to, no, you're still canceled. I would argue that is that still fair? Parang in anything naman, we can view this as a punishment of sorts as well. And when we're talking about punishment, is it proportional to the harm that was done? Diba parang, so boycott is fine. Parang that's within the rights of someone to not engage or interact with anything that they don't agree with. But if the harm is no longer proportional to the harm, if the punishment is no longer proportional to the harm that was created by that or whatever is being cancelled, then you are engaging in a just practice yourself. Na parang, now, are you correcting injustice with another unjust practice? So, I think yun yung challenge, because now that you're a collective, who will now say that, oh guys, enough, let's stop? Especially when it comes to collective, and especially if it's such a heated, sensitive topic where everyone's emotions is so high up, it's hard to stop. No, ito yung tinatawag natin in social psych also, that the individuation, when you lose the sense of self because you are in a crowd. And we have observed that we usually apply that concept in a social mobilization, let's say a rally or whatever, or let's say a U-up game. Diba? Parang everyone gets heated. But we can also observe that online. Na parang when you become a mob, suddenly there's no pause button anymore. And when that group engages in groupthink, suddenly they are insulated from outside perspectives. No, and then they will continue to engage in that. So, yun yung mga process that's happening. So how do we stop that? It can be hard if they are already on a roll. Usually, groupthink stops from an insider. So they're the ones. So for example, if someone acts as a devil's advocate, stop. Let's pause for a while. What's happening? Okay. So if you ever find yourself in that situation where maybe it's because of righteous anger or whatever, but you are being swept up by a crowd, you have to ask yourself what's happening. How do we pause? Can we reflect for a bit? It can be hard because now you can be ostracized by that group.
Yeah, sad.
Diba? So, and now you'll be part. Maka-cancel ka na rin. Diba? So at that point, you know that it's in dangerous waters. Now, kasi parang nawawala na yung self-awareness of that group, and it becomes totally de-individualized. No? So, it can be scary kasi more social psych concepts, group polarization, diba? And then you get into conflict, and a lot of real life wars happen through that process.
I have a follow-up question. So, does groupthink increase when the person being called out has no ability to speak up? Because that's what I noticed. Like I've witnessed several instances where someone gets canceled, called out, but then I rarely find them speaking up online, speaking up for themselves. It's really just the group that collectively calls out that says a lot.
For me, Kasi a lot of the people who get canceled are celebrities.
Yeah.
May PR,
Oo.
may PR yan crisis management. And I think for the longest time, the way they handle it is, keep
Yeah.
your head down,
Correct.
let this pass. But I think what social media has shown so far is that it doesn't pass. Pagdating sa mga ganito, if you get canceled, you get canceled, diba? For me, in my opinion, the reason why we don't see the other people speaking up is because that's how they used to it. In my opinion, they should speak up. They should argue for their defense. Or at the very least, kung walang defense, apologize right away.
Right.
Own up to it. I think kasi you have to fight candidness with candidness in social media, no? Hindi mahirap na siyang i-PR lang na di ba parang someone's canceling me, I'm gonna engage in let's say philanthropic, di ba parang make myself look good. That's not how it works anymore. And I think that's true, no? Na parang if the other person is not speaking up, technically that's a dissenting opinion, no? So if there's no dissent, then the group that's doing the canceling becomes even more validated. Kasi ang nangyayari yan is they're canceling someone and no one's fighting them and maybe we're correct. Diba? Parang ganun. So now it becomes a positive feedback loop. Na parang no one's stopping them. But regardless of whether they're correct in doing it or not, it doesn't matter. What happens is that since it's a positive loop, mas lalong napopolarize yung group. Okay, so they become even more extreme in the way they think. We have this concept in psych also called the attitude inoculation, wherein if a belief is countered by a half-hearted, rebuttal or whatever, or a weak counter-argument, it makes the attitude even stronger. Okay, mas lalo silang lumalakas yung paniniwala nila.
Yeah.
So, and we can see this in online debates. Say may family reunion kayo with the tito that you don't agree with politically. We tend to believe that a respectful discourse is the way to engage with that tito. Respectful discourse works with the third-party person who's in defense, di ba? Parang being able to give both sides of the argument. But that doesn't work with someone who is on the more exclusive. You have to face them with a strong argument yourself. Otherwise, you're only strengthening their position. No? So the way to engage with people with very strong beliefs, and that will include people who are engaging in cancel culture, is to make them uncomfortable. Like identify what's irrational about what you're saying, make them see counterfactual evidences, so that ito yung tinatawag natin cognitive dissonance. Nandun na sila sa state na I'm being bombarded with two differing beliefs and it's not comfortable. And the way you usually resolve this is in two ways. One is you change your attitude, you change your beliefs, which is what you want, or you change your behavior. So in this case, kung ikaw yung tito na inaaway ka ng pamangkin mo, you stop listening to that person. Okay, di ka mabuting pamangkin. That happens, wala na tayo magagawa. But the goal is to make them choose. Like, put them in an uncomfortable position so that they have to choose. They cannot just run away. So in this case, if you're seeing a group that is engaging in, dangerous cancel culture, you have to make them feel uncomfortable about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, parang, is this too much? Or you can say, no, this can be hypocritical. You're engaging in a just act yourself.
Yeah.
Diba? So, ganun.
Parang challenging them.
And you have to be clear, it's not that I'm protecting who you're canceling. I agree with you. You can say that. I agree with your point, but I don't agree with how you're doing it.
Right. Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it also connects with my next question. Do you think call-out culture promotes accountability, or does it create fear and division?
It can promote accountability if done correctly. As with boycotts, whatnot, di ba? Parang own up to your mistakes, that's fine. But the problem is if you lose that purpose, if the purpose is seeking accountability, but you don't have the space for that person to take accountability, suddenly it becomes divisive.
Right.
So for example, let's say you cancel someone for something that they did years ago and they apologized and owned up to it, but you're not listening, then you're not promoting accountability, right? You're just harming that person, regardless of whether they deserve that or not. Diba parang? So it becomes ironic kasi na parang if you're demanding accountability but you're not willing to accept the accountability at any point, then that's when it becomes a tool for fear and division. Diba parang? So it's really a very thin line, to tread. So it really depends on the intentionality and the modality of doing it. So yun yung question, parang. So if you're in that group, how do you? It's very important to set also a level of expectation, like what do we want you to do? So parang in restorative justice kasi, I'm going to restorative justice now. The goal is to reconcile.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang if there's a perpetrator and there's a victim, the goal of the process is to reconcile the two and turn the perpetrator back into a functional, moral member of society. Diba? Parang the other way around is punitive justice, where the goal is to isolate them so they won't engage in that crime anymore. So nangyari ito is your cancel culture, is it meant to restore or is it meant to punish?
Yeah.
Diba? Parang, I mean, punishment in a sense that if it's just punishment where you're just isolating someone, and I feel like in order for it to become a tool for accountability, it should be conscious from the get-go that the goal is to restore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so upon hearing those thoughts, ako personally, I'm now reminded about my responsibility as a user.
Yeah. Siguro my response to that, it's also hard to know the intention behind.
And especially pag anonymous.
Yeah, and crowd na kayo, diba?
Yeah, and sometimes it's really just a matter of that one person wanting to express themselves. So what you said earlier, that there should be clarity from the get-go if this is meant to be restorative or punishing. Sometimes you don't have that consciousness, right? When you posted something online, it's really just to express yourself, but then it spirals into this whole thing.
And I think if you're that person who's expressing, and this can be hard, especially kung ikaw yung victim mismo, diba? It's painful, and we cannot honestly expect them to be, or I think it's also unfair to completely expect victims to just be, this is fine. But I think that's where the role of other people come in, a third party. So for example, from a counselor's perspective, diba, when in the framework of restorative justice, when we put it in criminal justice, if we're using the restorative framework, therapists play a huge role in the process. Kasi the goal is, how do we help the victim and the perpetrator make sense of what happened? Diba? Para, again, we cannot expect the victims to carry the burden alone.
Yeah.
Diba? Even in online setup. So dito pumapasok yung third party na how do we help the victim also process it? And if you're not the victim, let's say you're just expressing and suddenly it snowballs into something that is out of your control. If you're just expressing, it's also your job to say that, hey guys, that's not my intention. Okay, I'm not intending this to snowball into a lynch mob. I mean, you can get swept up in it kasi validation din yun.
Yeah.
Parang if you express yourself, oh, I'm so mad, this person hurt me, blah, blah, blah. Or if you're not the victim, let's say, oh, I'm calling out this person for doing this on another person. And then suddenly other people say, yeah. And then it becomes a social validation that I'm correct. And then suddenly you lose track of what was the purpose of the post in the first place.
Yeah.
Diba? So parang for me, again, accountability also on the poster. And it precedes the post. That's why we have skin in the game. So now it's the onus is on you. How do you temper the crowd, kumbaga, that is now following you, even if it's not your intention to be the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
Essentially, you became it, diba? So now you have to lead the pack into a process that is helpful for the victim and society as a whole, diba?
Yeah. Well, I can see how this could be heavy nga for the person who posted if the person is a victim of some injustice, no, and be the one to like manage the audience,
Yeah.
right? So to speak.
And just to add, no, I think that's also something that we have to realize, that if we're gonna post something online, that's a real possibility that it can blow up.
Yeah.
And then we cannot just, labas ako dyan. It was you who posted it. You have to be accountable also for the people who would follow you because of that post. You cannot just say, hugas kamay na, I just posted. I cannot control what others say. I mean, yes, sure, you cannot control what others say, but you can help, manage their expectations.
Yeah.
With a follow-up post na parang, hey guys, this blew up way more than I expected. I'm not intending to lynch this person. List down the expectations. This is all I'm looking for. I think it helps. It really helps that I'm not looking for lynching. I'm looking for that this person takes accountability and to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that list should be proportional to the harm that was given, so that you're also helping the crowd from blowing up.
Yeah, that's right. And people can find a way to go back to that. Kasi nga, in their terms, yung digital footprint.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I guess that also helps with the healing process.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So now that you've brought up the counseling perspective and like what is it like for the audience, no? So my question is, what does constant exposure to outrage or public shaming or even participation or involvement in it do to people's mental well-being?
As someone na palaaway sa social media. No, it really depends on how you view things in social media. I think one of the dangers is if you're too attached to your ideas. Parang yes, take accountability for it, commit to what you say, but at the same time, if someone argues with you, don't take it personally. I think that's something that people have to learn, that having bad ideas that people criticize does not make you a bad person. Sometimes we feel that way, na parang I send something and someone criticizes it, we feel bad or such a bad person, di ba? For academics, this is such a thing, di ba? Parang you write the paper and then the reviews come in, and then the reviewers are like, this blah 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 blah, and you feel so bad that parang you have to detach yourself to some degree. If you are debating and arguing in good faith in social media, you should also engage in that. Otherwise, it can lead to emotional blah blah blah. Parang hindi naman kayo nag-aaway as friends, diba? Parang you're just debating with each other.
Idea.
It's a realm of ideas, diba? Especially in social media, you cannot see body language, right?
Yeah.
We only assume the tone. Like recently, may friend ako na nag-post siya about transportation. So may argument siya, and then I said, I disagree. No, I feel like reductive yung argument, blah blah blah. And then nag-message siya sa akin, Arvin, nag-away ba tayo? Sabi ko, no. I might look combative in Facebook, but it's really just something that because I'm advocating for sustainable mobility, I feel strongly about, but I'm not seeing you as less of a person. So parang we are debating, we're trying to create a discourse. So I think if you have that mindset in social media where not everything is personal, it's fine to find yourself in these spots where you are, arguing with people, because you are arguing in good faith. Okay, it becomes mentally draining if it becomes personal. Sometimes that's not your fault even because kunyari may kaaway ka and then that person is not arguing in good faith, just throw ad hominems
Yeah.
against you na parang you're ugly or something.
Or character
It-
assassination.
Oh, di ba? It can become mentally draining. So it really depends on what's the nature of the discourse. Like, if you find yourself in that spot where the other person is not debating with you in good faith, stop.
Huh.
Okay? That's what you can control.
Yeah.
It's your participation in it. Engaging in healthy discourse with others is a good thing, in my opinion. Of course, hindi mo kailangan pagurin yung sarili mo kakaisip, di ba? Choose your battles. But if you are in a spot where it's not healthy anymore, you can stop. That's fine. You have to also understand that you cannot control other people and what they say in social media. So if they're hurling insults against you, just reframe it in that it says more about them than you. And if that other person is not even real, in a sense, like it's a troll or
Yeah.
like a fake account, then shrug it off. They don't know you enough
Yeah.
to say something bad against you.
Right.
Yeah, so kumbaga parang it's being a mindful user. So aside from the mention, how then can people engage online without burning out or getting stuck in the negativity?
Just get used. Awayin mo silang lahat. No, I think that's the thing, no? It's really just because I try to practice yung principles ng stoicism as much as you can. I fail a lot. But it's really the value of things is as your mind gives it. So, and you can take that value away at any point. So if a discourse becomes negative in nature, then it doesn't have value to me anymore. It doesn't affect who I am. As long as you are assured that you're doing the best that you can, it shouldn't affect you, or it should minimize the effects on you. Kasi parang, I did what I did. If the other person is still reacting to whatever I said negatively, then it's out of my control. That's on them. Okay. So I think that's one thing that you can think about. Also, stop reading news na very... feel ba naman yan eh. May mga news na angle towards a certain... Like if it's fear-mongering or whatnot, parang see things as they are. That's something that you have to think about as well. And yun na nga, choose your battles. You don't have to argue with everyone you disagree with. There are certain things that you don't need to call them out for if you don't feel strongly about it. My friends know it. I would call out posts that I don't agree with. Not call out in the sense that, oh, you're such a bad person. Parang I had this psychologist friend before that sabi niya lang na parang why do we have these trigger warnings during theater, blah, blah, blah. Parang ganyan. Kasi ang point is, I think, nirepost niya lang yung isang comment ng theater artist, a well-known theater artist na yung trigger warnings is softens people na parang they should be ready for being shocked because it's theater. So parang sabi ko lang, we are psychologists. Parang we're expected to be better than this. Na parang we have to understand na people have situations, they have trauma, na trigger warnings are there so that they won't have to suffer whatever trauma that they suffered before. Na parang to deny them theater and say that they're soft is injustice or parang unfair to what they went through. So I mean, friends pa rin naman kami. I mean, if we still laugh at each other's memes, parang, I think that kind of, developing that kind of culture, norm, na parang we can argue and everything's fine after that. It's not about the person. Maybe what they said you don't agree with. They might correct it or not. You don't need to always completely cancel that person or they said something bad, they're a bad person. No, it's probably.
Right. Okay. So that's pertaining to the people involved, no? In either calling out or being called out. But how about like from the audience perspective, because that's one thing that we hear about a lot now in our sessions, like seeing all of these posts could also get to the audience, right? So how does one protect themselves from the effects of
As an audience, di ba, parang you can feel strongly about something, whether you agree or disagree with the post. If you're not feeling strongly about it, you don't need to read it. You can, again, choose your battles. If you agree or disagree with someone, I would suggest message whoever posted, like, oh, I support you, blah, 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 or you can ask questions. I mean, you can chime in. I feel like as someone who has engaged in online arguments, I welcome third-party people chiming in. I think, kasi yung groupthink, hindi lang siya as a group also, partly, sometimes if you are too immersed in an argument with someone, you lose sight of other perspectives, and that goes for both discussants, no? So having a third party to chime in, like, you actually both, for example, you actually both make sense. But that's very helpful because it can cool down the heated conversation, no? So as an audience, I think one way to protect yourself is to actually participate, to voice out what you feel. Kasi that can shift the conversation into something healthier.
Yeah.
And that will actually make it better for everyone. As long as your participation is not vitriolic. Again, it's all about intentionality, di ba? Parang if the goal is to give your 2 cents so that the discussion takes a better turn, whether to synthesize things or whatnot, that's very helpful. So apart from that, just you don't need to read it. That's the best. The best way to protect yourself is, just ignore it.
Yeah.
As drama. Parang it doesn't affect me. Like, it doesn't concern me. I don't need to read it. If it concerns you, identify how can I contribute. If you don't want to contribute, that's fine also. You can lay down your thoughts. Kung gusto mo mag-journaling about it, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just bottling it up, find friends, diba? Pag chismisan nyo yung chismis, diba? Parang, it can be cathartic at some point. So, yeah. Naisip ko for the audience.
Yeah.
It can be hard, sometimes, especially if you are a bit powerless in that. Because, may dalawang institution yung nag-aaway and you're just a bystander. It can become stressful. Especially if it concerns you, but find other people to talk to that will help.
Yeah, and I can imagine sometimes you can go down the rabbit hole, like trying to find all the stems of these debates online.
Sometimes if you're on the more investigative personality, but that can be a bit fun also.
Yeah.
Saan ba nanggaling ito? Where are they coming from? Like, you can speculate as long as you're not disparaging anyone or you're not harming anyone's reputation. It's fine to investigate, like, ano ba yung motivations behind. Kasi as someone who argues online, sometimes arguments are not really logical. May pinanggagalingan din naman na biases, and you can ask those questions as well. So it can be from a curiosity standpoint, you can also treat that way. So I guess reframing is such an important skill to do when you're in social media. Like, reframe it as a point of curiosity, reframe it as, two people who are arguing. If they're your two friends, sometimes it can be hard, but parang like sa gitna ng dalawang nag-aaway na parents, di ba? So how do you reframe those things? So I think counselors are good at training. How do you reframe?
Yeah, and with that, parang whether you are involved in that post or you are an audience, parang for me, this is a reminder na we are really in control of our devices. May mga functions naman, like, yun nga, unfollow the post, unfollow the page.
Yes.
Yeah, if ever are pwede.
Facebook.
So we have a lot of ways to really control our usage.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned about that nga na. You have to sometimes discern, do these things are these things worthy of my time? Or should I just, let them be and I can just be at peace here? Yeah. So in relation to that, what might protecting your peace look like in a culture where everything can go viral? So I think some people are wary of posting something online or everything, because everything you see online can be captured in a screenshot, can be shared, diba? It can be used as a receipt. Yeah.
One interesting phenomenon recently is yung mga younger people, they have what they call spam accounts. So they create another account and dun lang sila nagpo-post ng spam, whatever nila, like photos, blah, blah, blah. I mean, not personal photos, memes and stuff. So on a lighter note, yun yung pwede yung gawin. You want to keep peace that no one's gonna be criticizing you for what you post. The other question is, why are you even posting in the first place? Diba? Parang, is it just for the purpose of posting? Kasi if it's just for the purpose of posting, then a spam account will do. But are you posting to be heard? Okay? And again, it goes back to my argument na we have to develop that sense of commitment. If we're gonna say something online, commit to it. And expect that people might react to it in a way. So having that that foresight, I guess, or pre-notion that something will happen will to some degree protect us. Kasi we are expecting maybe a pushback or sometimes a validation. I think one way to protect your peace is just to expect pushback and to sometimes to welcome it, peace is not always absence of conflict, di ba? Parang sometimes peace can be understanding how that even in conflict we can flourish in it. Not parang it cannot always be avoiding. I mean, avoiding is a good strategy, if you want to be peaceful. The best way is just to uninstall social media, and that's fine. Parang nung cyber psychology class kami before in undergrad, one of their projects was social media detox. No social media for 2 weeks. And some students, what they did was they just continued with it. Like they uninstalled their IG, they didn't install it back. Parang they felt better. And I think yung keyword, I think I'm taking from Sir Matt, yung keyword here is mindful use. And I think it becomes problematic if you're not mindful anymore. And that the problem is social media was, at least the platforms are really engineered for you to be not mindful. Diba? Parang the way algorithm works, doom scrolling, all of these things, these are phenomena that shows that or exhibits mindless use of social media. And that's when the problem becomes that's when it emerges, when posting becomes compulsion. Diba? Parang I feel the need to post. Diba? Parang nawawala yung intentionality, nawawala yung mindfulness, nawawala yung commitment. Kasi how can you be committed to something that you didn't think about? Right? So if it was just, I need the feel to post, and I post, and then someone pushes back against you, and then you realize that you did something wrong. So, so I think mindful use of social media is one of the best ways to maintain your peace. But mindfulness about it will also allow you to detach your self-worth, your self-concept from the words that you say, and allow you to take criticisms without any personal attack. So I think so let's put steps to if you wanna disengage your social media, that's totally fine. I think just to add, one of the issues also is FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out. FOMO lasts for a week or two. After that, it's fine. So it's fine to uninstall social media it's not your duty to always be updated about your friend stuff. Sometimes it's even more fun to not be updated, and then you see them in the mall and like, oh, kamusta ka na? You don't have to police them every single time. Pwede mo naman silang kamustahin every now and then. And if you decide to continue using social media, be mindful about it. Commit to what you say, and don't take everything personally. Don't sweat the small stuff. Always see who you're talking to. Are they real even? Are they not real? Are they speaking in good faith? I think if someone's not speaking in good faith, you don't need to engage with that person, and you can shrug off whatever they say. So that's something that you can develop also.
Earlier in our discussion, we talked about yung language and the emoji. So my next question is, how do we stay expressive and involved without letting social media consume our sense of self and or adding to the harmful effects of call out or cancel culture?
I think yung whatever rules we have in speaking out in non-online ways applies to online also. Are you hurting someone? What's the intention of saying something? If it's just purely self-expression, like, I want to share this poem with you guys, that's great. I mean, people might, maybe someone will say, oh, this is such a sucky poem. And then that's when you realize this person is not engaging with me in good faith. I don't need to take whatever they said to heart. Diba? But if someone says, oh, this is your poem, probably it's not that good because of blah, 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 then take that as a learning moment. Parang I would be even thankful to that person that, especially if it has their name stamped in it, diba? Parang, oh, they're committed to this statement, they're saying it in good faith. I'm thankful because they are actually risking their own reputation by criticizing what I said. So it's a two-way street, right? So that's why I feel like having the name there is really one of the good indicators na this is a statement in good faith. So we, by having that mindset, then we can be a bit freer in the way we express ourselves. So it can be hard, but we just have to learn to be more mindful about what we do.
And I guess it comes with us being digital citizens, that understanding and acceptance. When you put yourself out there, you would really get something back, right? Which might be difficult to understand because it's not the same offline.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we've come to our final question. So how can we build healthier online communities where people can disagree, learn, and grow without tearing each other down?
I think it's really, for me, when you're starting a community, it's always on the founders to set the tone, to the leaders to set the tone. Like I really like the group page, How's Your Biyahe Bes? Because things can get heated. This is such a vital issue that affects everyone, but people can still maintain civil arguments, And I think so kudos to the moderators, to the administrators, because the way they engage with people is really civil. So if the question is how do we create communities, it all starts with who sets the tone. Diba? And if someone deviates from that, what's the corrective action? Diba? So again, goal is to restore. So if someone says something in the community that people don't agree with, how can we help that person realign the way they engage with others? And again, having rules would help with that. In this group, this is how we do things. These are the rules that we follow to maintain harmony and whatever. People can disagree, but do not call each other ugly. So yun. So I think leaders is one. So ang hirap pag yung leaders mismo yung nagsisiraan ng isa't isa. Parang suddenly now, it's an open battlefield for everyone if our role models are doing this. Diba? So, kasi pagdating naman sa social identity, the central figures are the ones who usually create the tone for the rest if they will model that behavior or not. So, how do we act as proper role models is something that we have to think about when we want to build communities. So again, it's accountability.
Yeah.
But because on a bigger scale, no, when it's not a closed group, it's harder to do that.
Yeah.
Because who owns the internet, right?
Yeah. Oh. Kaya ano yan eh. I think the reason why I like Reddit kasi I find Reddit to be less vitriolic than Facebook. And to some degree, Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. Kasi I think there's a certain subset of people that use Reddit. I mean, Redditors can be toxic. The moderators can be toxic, but in certain cases, like for example, if you go to r/Philippines, the way they engage in conversation in that subreddit is very different from the way people engage in Facebook. So to some degree, the platforms themselves have culture embedded
Right.
na rin. For example, that's why when I use social media for my research, when I want conflict, like away talaga, I harvest data from Facebook. Kasi Facebook, by algorithm, creates echo chambers. So now it's not just the people creating echo chambers themselves. The platform helps them create it. So now if you have echo chambers and you have two groups who are fighting each other and they're polarizing away from each other, then the conflict intensifies.
Yeah.
Diba? So if the question is who owns the internet, it's the tech companies and the platforms themselves create this. So with that in mind, when you're building a community in a specific platform, you have to also realize what are the contextual factors within that platform that steers behavior to one direction or another. So if you're creating a Facebook page or group, knowing that it's algorithmic in the way it creates echo chambers, how do you push back against it so that you create a community that is more tolerant of dissenting views and in that regard less vulnerable to groupthink?
Yeah, so as mindful users of the internet, we have to choose the platform also. Do you want to utilize, no, you want to immerse ourselves in, because that matters also pala. No? So there are more peaceful platforms
Yes.
and more chaotic platforms. And then as you mentioned, and I always say this, no, because I hear a lot of criticisms about social media, but then it's also a matter of choosing like groups that are helpful, that are healthy, could provide healthy discourse, and could help you out with whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Same insight. Kumbaga para moving forward, hopefully every one of us would now be able to find our safe spaces wherein we could be authentic and we could be wiser and smarter online citizens.
How about you, Sir Arvin? Do you have any final words?
Dami. It's such a complicated thing, especially for especially for the older generation that have to navigate this. They have to navigate this new thing, diba? And how do you maintain tech literacy? Those questions, and of course, you have competing agenda from those who create the platforms, and what is the use of social media. I think it really boils down to responsible use for each and every person. And the more people who engage in that, the healthier the platform will be. And, whatever rules you have in public spaces, like physical spaces, just transfer it to social media. Like, you won't punch someone, hopefully, in public. You don't have to engage in verbal fist fight, diba, in social media. So, diba, parang, and again, also going back, how do we create culture? I think as a social psychologist, apart from responsible use, how do we normalize certain behaviors? And that is coming, and that would usually come from role models, leaders, and people, just engaging in behavior that they want to propagate. So, so how do we turn social media from such a wild west, di ba? Parang, let's create norms, parang it starts from there as well.
Wow. I-miss ko yung social psych.
Yeah, ako din. Actually, ang dami pa lang emerging terms and
Yeah,
phenomena sa social psych.
Oo. It is very refreshing coming from our past episodes, mostly about diba, counseling, psych cleaning, and clinical psych cleaning topics. This time around, it's a different way.
Yeah.
Okay, but also very helpful na as Sir Arvin mentioned na we also as counselors have a very crucial role, no? Especially when we have like students who bring up issues, no, or concerns pertaining to their use of social media. Yan. Okay. Sige. So thank you for that, Sir Arvin. Is there anything that you would like to promote? Any event or activity?
Wala. I promote myself to increase my karma points.
On Reddit.
Sa Reddit.
Please like and subscribe.
Okay.
All right. So with that, thank you so much, Sir Arvin. Like what Faith mentioned, for me, I really find it very refreshing since we talked about things in a social psych perspective. So to our students, let's be mindful about the use of freedom wall. And to our listeners, thanks for staying with us. We hope that we can bring with us practice and imbibe what we learned from Sir Arvin in today's episode. You might also want to share these learning with a friend who you think might need to hear this.
And you might also want to follow us on Spotify to be updated on our new episodes. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/ogc.hed, to catch our announcements about OGC's programs and activities. Once again, thank you, Sir Arvin.
Thank you.
It's been our pleasure. And to close this episode, again, I am Sir Matt.
And I'm Miss Faith. Until our next episode, may we all be able to protect our peace and stay grounded both online and offline for our well-being.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us for this episode of Wellness Wednesdays. Every week, we'll bring you stories, tips, and conversations that keep your mind, body, and spirit in check. Wellness that truly speaks to you.
Hope you can tune in again with us next Wednesday. For updates and replays of this episode, you can always check the social media accounts of Radyo Katipunan.
This has been Wellness Wednesdays, wellness that speaks to you from the body, mind to mind. See you next time.
We all want to live healthier in mind, body, and spirit. But where do we start? Sometimes all it takes is a good conversation. Tune in to Wellness Wednesdays on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Together with experts, inspiring guests, and real stories, we explore tips you can actually use. From managing stress, to eating better, to finding balance in a busy world. Because here, we believe wellness isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So join us, and let's make every Wednesday a step toward your healthiest self. Wellness Wednesdays, wellness that speaks to you. From the body, mind to mind. Every Wednesday on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo